chapter 41, verse 10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Here ends our scripture reading, and I would like to invite Deb Borndahl.
When Pastor first threw it out, When Pastor first threw it out there about sharing God moments during a Lenten service, I thought, I'm not really for sure I've ever had one. I've heard so many other people talk about their God moments, and I was wondering, why have I never had one? I always thought of myself as a good person, even with my OCD. Okay, a lot of OCD. I also thought of myself as a faithful Christian and still wondered why I never had a God moment. I guess I was thinking that a God moment was going to be like cymbals clashing, angels singing, or, oh, or God saying, Deb, this is God. So let me take you back a few months. I thought this was the worst year ever, as many of you thought the same. With COVID and all the things changing in the world, every time I thought it couldn't get any worse, it did. So 1 week back in July, actually 6 days, our lives changed forever. My husband Jim went to the doctor for a pre-op to have back surgery. Told the doctor that he was having some stomach pains. So they decided that maybe they should do an ultrasound just to make sure that he wasn't having a gallbladder attack or have an ulcer. So they did the ultrasound. The next day, we both get called into the doctor's office. Now this is during COVID when that wasn't allowed. So I knew it wasn't good. The ultrasound showed that he had a severe case of diverticulitis, but they also noticed something else on the ultrasound. So they ordered immediately a CT scan, confirming that there was a mass on his pancreas and in his liver, something that would have never been discovered if he wouldn't have had stomach pain. The next day, his mom passes away. The following day, he has to go for a COVID test so he can have an endoscopy and a biopsy instead of having his back surgery on that Tuesday. Yep, you guessed it. He was positive. He was asymptomatic. Then the health department calls. I too have to go get tested. Yep, I'm positive also. Now here we are. We're both quarantined. His mom just passed away. We both needed our family and our friends. And we hurt very bad. We had to cancel all of the tests, and we had to postpone the funeral. My stomach constantly quivered, and I couldn't stop crying. I tried to act positive in front of my family, as I was watching him dwindle away and in so much pain. Wondering, why do bad things always happen to good people? I'm not telling you this because I want pity. I'm telling you this because it was the beginning. The quiet during the chaos, and the light when there was darkness. Psalms is my go-to book of the Bible for comfort and peace. When I opened it up to Psalms 37, which I recommend all of you to go home and read. After I read it, I realized its theme was trust in the Lord our God. Each of our God moments are going to be different. They happen every day. We just sometimes don't realize it, or at least I didn't. Then I started thinking about all of the things that happened, such as the day our granddaughters were at the house when the doctor called, calling with the worst news ever and changing a negative into a positive. The girls saying to Papa, "Don't worry, Papa, you got this." And then they proceeded to make us their specialty for lunch, macaroni and cheese. It was the best lunch we've ever had. Realizing we can't do everything alone and having to ask for help. That's when a young lady I consider my adopted daughter and her family stepped up and set up the church with beautiful photos of my mother-in-law, all of her memorabilia for my mother-in-law's funeral. When we walked into church, it was perfect. She would have loved the tribute she had. Or out of the blue, when family and friends bringing meals, including friends of our kids from their high school days, sending us gift cards and calling us, telling us, "You place the order and we'll pay for it." Realizing now how many lives we must have had an impact on. That was truly a God moment. Who would have ever thought having COVID would have been a God moment? Well, it was for us. Because Jim never was able to get a negative COVID test. The facility in Fond du Lac would not treat him. Hence, we had to go to Oshkosh. As it turns out, the Oshkosh facility's name is the Vince Lombardi Cancer Center, the perfect place for us Packer fans to go. People sending us cards of inspiration and hope. And once again, all of the cards came with gift cards for meals. For when we were so occupied going to the doctor, not even thinking about what we were going to have for supper that night. Appreciating all of the people praying for our family and understanding the best place to be is in the thoughts and prayers of others. A phone call you get from a special person just to check in on you, only to find out you're sitting in the emergency room parking lot because your husband fell going out to feed the birds and he has a chemo leak, which is a very serious thing. She talked to me the whole entire time I sat in the parking lot. She talked me down, calmed me down, and made me laugh the whole entire time. Or our Wednesday night fellowship gatherings. Some nights, all they did was just let me talk and cry, helping me get through that week's turmoil, keeping in mind one of those people I have never met until our Lenten services. That is a God moment. All right, this one, I'm going to try to ad-lib this. I usually spend the first hour in Oshkosh because I'm very paranoid about all of the things that can go on during the chemo, and I'm just petrified that something bad is going to happen. So the first hour has passed, and I decide it's time to head up to Oshkosh to do my shopping because I have 4 hours to kill. Well, on my way up to Oshkosh, or Appleton, I get a phone call, and it comes across on my screen saying it's the Vince Lombardi Center calling me. I answer it. They said, "Dub," and I go, "Yeah." And they go, "This is the nurse practitioner calling. Jim has had a serious reaction to a chemo treatment." I go, "Okay, what do I do?" She goes, "Well, we're rushing him right now to the emergency room where a nurse practitioner and an RN, rushed him through the hallway all the way to the emergency room. I go, well, I'll be turning around as soon as I can. So I proceeded to turn around, go back to the emergency room. I go, what am I going to do when I get there? They said, it's okay, you can come in. I go, are you sure? They go, not a problem, you'll be able to come in. We all know that during COVID, that is not something that they allow you to do. As the doctor meets me and walks me back, he tells me that my husband's blood pressure is 60/40, and his oxygen saturation is at 80%. This is not good. So they walk me into the room. I enter the room to see a very irritated man, wondering what is going on and why they won't let him go back and finish chemo. They proceeded to tell him that he had caused enough excitement for one day, that they will call him and he can start chemo next week. Just being able to walk into the room and see him irritated was a good thing. Another one is hearing all the I love yous from our family and friends. And I don't take them for granted anymore. Or when the oncologist tells you that the chemo is working. The biggest test my husband likes to have, and he can only have it once a month, and it's in a gold tube. And he wants a gold tube every week, but they won't allow it. It's called the CA-19-9 to check out the tumor markers. When my husband first started this journey, he was at 10,000. Anything over the number 35 shows you have pancreatic cancer. He went from 10,000 and he is currently at 140. That's a God moment. The doctor, we stand up to leave, the doctor gives us a hug and says, today you go out and celebrate. So all our family and friends sending us all of the positive thoughts our way, helping us get through so many difficult days. And one special day is Sunday. It's what we call Sunday Family Fun Day. It lightens and brightens my husband so much, and it does my heart good. That's a God moment. So I have found out that the worst year ever has become the best. It has opened my eyes and my heart to allow me to realize I have been having God moments all of my life. I just didn't see it. Lent is a season of opening ourselves to awareness and the powerful gift of transformation. My hope is that you all open your hearts to that gift and become aware of that special gift and become mindful of all those God moments. I have a shirt on that was given to us from Heidi, the entire family, and on it it says, in this family, no one fights alone. I want you all to know that you are my family in faith, and I thank you all for all the prayers and for being with us during this fight. Bless.